Yes, I'm watching the live.
All right, good day again, everyone. My name is Miss Bowen. This is our 7th week of practice. We have been practicing, I think, from January the 15th, thereabout to that Friday then. And the third Friday, the second Friday there in February. No, it was actually January. We're now in February and we have numerous work to continue to do for the remaining parts of the ability test examination. The performance tasks and the curriculum-based tests have more to do with the curriculum and what you're being taught at school. However, for the performance tasks, it is still very difficult to say where the ministry will pull the questions from what topic, simply because we have not received the teacher's activity. Sorry. Good day, Terrell. Hi, Anna. All right. We're going to be going back on the study at our website also. I'm going to be sharing that link to the chat. I hope you are using your free time to go on those websites. They are free resources and they have a host of information. I'm also sharing the link to the sawal.com website, and that is also good day, Phasia. I'm not sure why the site is not working, Kadali. Click on the link right now, hopefully it should come up. I hope that you are staying inside and protecting yourself. The coronavirus cases have heightened. As a result, we're forced to deliver online through online NMS platforms and other video conferencing tools such as what I'm using. We have a lot of virtual manipulatives as well. I'm going to be sharing a website that Dr. Linda and I looked at in the Developing 21st Century Skills webinar that was done, I think on January the 30th, 2021. So I'm sharing the website and it's a Braining Camp website. It's actually a web app. It's a virtual manipulative. You get to use it similarly to how you would have used the baseline blocks and the geoboard in real life. So that's a good site that you can use to get some hands-on work done. All right, so I'm sharing the website again, and I'm also sharing my number for those who do not have my contact information already. And I'm sharing my email address, well, one of the email address that I would have used. And then you can reach out to me that way. So for other students who are needing additional help outside of this class that I'm hosting per week or weekly, these weekly classes, I hope to do the class bi-weekly, meaning increase the hours to two times per day, or increase the days to 2 times per week, sorry. Not 2 times per day, 2 times per week to do these classes as it comes up closer to the examination. Hopefully next week we can do that. I wanted to do it from before, but my private classes also is priority. So I have to see how best I can schedule my time to have these free Zoom classes, sorry, as well as my private tutoring classes. As I said, you can reach out or have your parents reach out to me for information, read the private classes if that's something that you'd be interested in. And as I said, I'm trying to do the classes twice per week either. I'm not sure if it's I have a very hectic schedule right now. So I'm not sure when I'm able to offer the class twice per week. However, I see how best I can accommodate those classes twice per week. All right. So I think we have enough students here. I think I've spoken a little about what I do and what our business offers. So I think it's safe to move into the past papers. So we're looking at the 2021 past paper, the format. What should be the format of the 2021 past paper? We're looking at the 2019 past paper and 2020 past paper to determine the format of the 2021 past papers. I'm bringing up those past papers now, and I'm going to be sharing them to my screen. For those of the students who have the document and you're able to follow from the document while we're doing the class, if you're not able to follow from the document, do not leave the classroom. Also for the website, once we go to the website, it would also be wise if you are able to, or it would also be good if you're able to follow from your individual devices. I hope to look at some of the questions from my booklet today. If not, we'll definitely look at it next week. All right, I have the documents up. I'm going to be sharing to my screen now. All right. So I am sharing to the screen now the 2020 ability test paper, and I'm going to be toggling back and forth between the 2020 ability test paper and the 2019 ability test paper. We're going to also be on the SAWA website. No, not so much on the SAWA website. I still want to show you some information there, but we're definitely going to be on the Study Other website with all the notes and the questions there about. So that's something that we're going to be looking at. All right, so I have there the 2020 past paper. Give me a second, please. Okay, so I'm going to be toggling back and forth between both papers, and we're going to be discussing the format once more. For our last week class, I think we would have stopped at a quarter point, not a midpoint, but a quarter point. In our document, we were somewhere between 8 and 9 or 10 till thereabout. But we're going to go about a quarter down in the document, 8, 10 thereabout, and we're going to be looking at both documents, and then we're going to be going to the Study Other website so we can see what notes look like, and we can look at some similar questions to these that we're looking at. So we said that the 2021 past paper will have a passage. It will have a passage, and you might have 2 to 3 questions from that passage. So there's a passage here, sorry, on the 2019 past paper. Let me zoom in on green monkeys, or not green monkeys. Well, yes, just monkeys in general. And then for the 2020 past paper, let me scroll on a little bit more. Let me see. Yes, the passage is there about number 16. So they vary in the different past papers. Let me zoom in on this 2020 document. So this passage on the 2020 document is on Devon House. And it speaks about the ice cream at Devon House, amongst other things. So you have 2 questions here. Sorry, question 16 and question 17. And sorry, for the passage on monkeys, we have also 2 questions. So it's safe to say that a passage will come. Sorry, a passage will come on the 2021 part. Sorry, the 2021 paper, not pass as yet. So the examination is 30, well, a month and 3 or 5 days, 25th. Let me look at my calendar. March the 25th, yes. So it's a month, and given that the month has 31 days, a month and 5 days thereabout. So 37 days away the examination is, and I know that most of the students here in this class already are there with the different types of questions and how to answer the questions. I know that we are there. We're just doing the final wrap up. This is like the last leg of the 400-meter race. All right. So we'll have we'll have a passage in the 2021 examination, and we'll have 2 to 3 questions on that passage. Let's look at what the questions look like here. So we're given the passage, and for the students who would have been a part of all of our sessions, or particularly the first 3 to 4 sessions, would have done this question. So let's look at the passage more, or in more details, not more closer in the sense, but in more detail. So the first green monkey was brought from Africa to Barbados more than 300 years ago. Now the monkeys are in danger because of men. The monkeys often attack fruit trees and birds, so the farmers shoot them. Also, there is less and less woodland on the island because it is being cleared for building. This means it is more difficult for the green monkeys to find places to live, so they move onto farmlands. The mongoose does more damage than monkey. It was brought to the island 100 years ago to kill rats, which were damaging the sugar canes. Now the rats are under control. The mongooses have started to kill other animals, reptiles, and birds. So let's see what the questions look like. So it started out with giving a paragraph on the origin of the monkeys and what they eat. Then it moved on to speak about the habitat damage for the green monkeys. Then finally it spoke about the mongooses and how they, well, that's a compare and a contrast, comparing the mongoose to the monkeys, and to say that they bring more threat, to the human or human livelihood or animals, and or animals. But it's given a word or a phrase there, 2 words, and the words are underlined, and you are asked a question to say what those underlined words mean. All right, let's look at the 2020 ability test paper and see what. So I'm aware that this 2020 ability test paper would have a passage, and that passage, it's a passage that one is making an inference. An inference meaning that you are given some information, and based on the context clues, you can infer or assume some information here. Some additional information based on what you have been given. So let's look at this passage. So there's no underlined word here. I wanted to point out that, or phrase that you're actually giving the meaning of. So it's a little bit different. Who doesn't love a cold, sweet, and creamy treat? Everyone loves ice cream, and the ultimate creamy treat for most Jamaicans is Devon House ice cream. To us, there is no better ice cream in the world. Every day is ice cream day. However, Sunday afternoons and public holidays are famous for Jamaican families to spread out on the lawns of Devon House and enjoy ice cream. 35 delicious flavors to choose from. Now let's talk. Sorry, I ran into that sentence. 35 delicious flavors to choose from. Now, let's talk about the Devon House mansion itself. Did you know that this historical landmark, sorry, please. Do not go out there. Sorry about that. Now let's talk about the Devon House mansion itself. Did you know that this historical landmark was owned by Jamaica's first Black millionaire, George Steinbell? A tour of George Steinbell's magnificent home gives us a glimpse of how the wealthy lived in the 19th century. Give me a second, please. All right, sorry about that. So the question says, why do most families go to Devon House? So you're inferring, well, I think you're basically just, this is not the inference per se, but from the passage, what you're able to comprehend is that people are there at Devon House for the ice cream. But however, in the second paragraph, it spoke about the Devon House mansion being a historical landmark. So therefore we can say that
Okay.
we're not looking at the questions as in
You get
based
ice
on the
cream.
answers. We're not
Get
looking at
ice
the answers
cream.
per se. We're trying to see what type of questions could come on the examination, read the passages, regarding the passages.
Okay.
So you can summarize the information there and draw a conclusion. So that's not an inference, sorry, that's a conclusion. For the next question now, there's where the inference comes out, where it says, which of these is being implied? Implied meaning making an inference, or yeah, so the information being implied is not stated clearly in the passage, but based on the information there that's given, you can sum up or you can make an inference that this information could be true. All right, so those are the different types of questions that could come on the passage, with a conclusion, the passage being asked to draw a conclusion, or you may be asked to make an inference based on the passage. You also might be given a set of words or a word and asked, and you might be asked the meaning of the words. So those are the things that we're looking for in the 2021 examination on passages. What is the writer most concerned with? That's another question. All right, so that question speaks about the main idea, because the main idea is what the author is mostly concerned with. Other questions that can also ask about the main idea could be, what is another title? So you're given a title for this passage, you're not given a title. But say, for instance, you're not given a title, sorry, they may ask, what is a good title for the passage? Or they may ask what the passage is about, which is also saying what is the main idea. Or they can also ask what another title for the passage. Give me a second, please. Sorry about that. All right. So we know that there will be a passage on the 2021 examination. What we do not know is what the types of questions are going to be like, but based on the analysis that I would have made, I would be able to determine or say particularly that we can assume that a question might come on inference, conclusions, drawing conclusions, identifying the main idea, and we might be asked for a definition or a synonym, or it might ask for an opposite, which is an antonym of an underlined word or an underlined phrase. All right, let's scroll down on the past papers to see the other types of questions that could come on the 2021 past paper. There's another statement for the another question for the 2020 past paper. So there are 3 questions for the 2020 past paper. One of the questions is, well, the latter questions is giving a question and then you're supposed to select a statement, to a truth statement for that question. So the question says, which statement about Devon House is true? And you're given 4 statements, and that statement is supposed to say what is true about Devon House. So that's another type of question that could come on the passage. You're given a question to say which statement is true about whatever is in the passage, and you should be able to determine that by reading the passage. There's also the artificial language question that we spoke about. We looked at that in both papers. We're in Kada Lee McLean. I'm seeing where you're providing answers to questions that I'm not necessarily asking. I'm just going through the format of the questions. I do not want a response. As I said, we would have passed that part where we would have answered all the questions on both these past papers. Excuse me, please. My apologies for the absent just now. Yes, please. Give me a second, please. Trying to see some of these things that are happening here with the participants of the actual class. All right. So again, my apologies for leaving my computer. All right, I hope we can pick up back where we left off. So we're on the 2020 paper, and we were alluding to the fact that there will be a question on deciphering or decoding an artificial language. So we have seen that on both papers. We have seen the sequences. I'm just going down through the past papers. We have seen the sequences for both of the past papers. I'm toggling back and forth between both papers and scrolling down to see the types of questions that could come on the current paper that we're going to be getting on the 25th of March. Personally, I know that students have been preparing. Some students are still not where they need to be. But I feel as though we did not need to push back the examination simply because we wanted more time to prepare for the performance task examination, which is a bit more challenging. However, that's not the case. So we'll have a shorter time to prepare for the performance task examination. I'm going to be starting the preparation for the performance task examination even before the actual examination, the actual ability test examination. So I'm going to be starting the performance task, and we're going to be starting the performance task preparation earlier. Marsha, I'm answering to the questions. Are we doing any questions today? Marsha, we're looking at the questions. It's not about answering questions if we cannot determine the format of the examination, neither if we're not able to go behind how these questions are compiled and to see how best we can determine how to approach the questions that will come on the 2021 past paper. So we have already answered these questions. I'm not sure if you're just joining the class. For the students who have been a part of all the sessions would know that these questions are already answered, have already been answered. Sorry. And you can also answer these papers on your own free time because you would have had them for an extended period. We're not looking at the questions. It's not about just answering questions. And I guess competition is also something that we like to as well. So if we're there in the chat and we're answering all the correct questions, we see that yes, we're getting most of the questions correct, but we also must be able to analyze, and that's what 21st century is about. These skills that we need to develop. We need to develop the skill of analyzing or deciphering what, because we know the questions. We have done questions. I'm sure you're getting a host of questions in your classroom, but we don't know what these questions, how they were compiled, what topic did they come from, and we simply do not know the format of the examination, meaning what type of questions will come back on the examination. So those are some things that we should be looking at. It's very imperative that we do so. All right, with that said, I was just perusing while talking on the different types of questions. Some of them are different, and that is what has to be necessary to keep the examination interesting. So it's not going to be a repeat of all the questions, but let's look at some of the type of questions that can come on the examination. So we have a passage here in that rounded rectangle, and it's given, I'm not sure if I saw a question like this in the 2019 past paper. We're going to scroll down and see if there's a question similar to this soon, but let's look at the question first. So it says, guinea pigs are from the class of mammals. Rabbits and guinea pigs make good pets. Rabbits and guinea pigs are from the same class. So you're given two statements, and the last statement, you should be able to determine whether these two statements before would make the last statement true. So it says no, from this statement, which statement must be true? So if guinea pigs are from a class of mammals, so guinea pigs are mammals, and both rabbits and guinea pigs make good pets, but the concluding statement there is that if guinea pigs are from a class of mammals and rabbits and guinea pigs are from the same class, so the last statement does not say whether the first two statements are true. This is a different type of question. So you're given three statements, and from those three statements, you should be able to determine whether another statement is true, which is technically the fourth statement. So the statements are provided as the answer, and you should be able to determine from reading the first 3 statements whether the fourth statement is true. So again, when we look at the answer, we could say that guinea pigs are mammals, and if rabbits and guinea pigs are from the same class, then rabbits and guinea pigs are both mammals. Not all pets, because they didn't speak about all pets. So we can safely say that rabbits are mammals because rabbits and guinea pigs are from the same class. Let me look if there's a similar question like this on the 2019 past paper. This looks a little similar in a sense, but you're not given only one set of information, you're given 2 sets of information, similarly to what is on the language arts performance task, but at a smaller scale. So you're given passage 1 and passage 2, and from that you should be able to determine. So here it spoke about pizza, the origin of pizza and the origin of bammies, and from those passages, you should be able to make a summary and determine whether the Tainos played an important part in the development of pizza. So it's speaking about the similarities between pizza and bami. Here, I'm not going to read through the passage because I've already done so, and because of time constraints, I hope you're just seeing it there and reading along.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm skimming through the passage and I would have read it before. So it speaks about the similarity between the background or the origin of pizza and bami. But because the Tainos played an important part in the creation of bami, they're also wondering if the Tainos were able or were a part of the creation of pizza. But it didn't say, so we can say false. But we can definitely say that pizza and bami had similar beginnings. This is a little bit different, but it's still a passage nonetheless. All right, I'm not seeing anything similar thus far. I think it's probably safe to say that that question that we looked on where the 3 statements were given and then a final statement was given in the answer, or final sets of statements, and you're supposed to be able to determine which one of those statements is true based on the information that was given. Not seeing any repeater of that question in the 2019 past paper, so we can only say that comes on the 2020 past paper, and we're not able to determine whether it will come back on the 2021 past paper, but that's something that we can think about looking at. Questions are similar to that. So if it does come, we can be prepared to tackle that question. For the 2020 past paper, I'm on the 2020 past paper. We're seeing some diagrams here. So that's a diagram where you identify the pattern. Let's see if that's something that comes on the 2019 past paper. Identifying the pattern. Let me scroll all the way up to the teens thereabout. All right, so we're seeing something that is similar to identifying the pattern. We're seeing something that is similar to identifying the pattern at question 21. It is still identifying the pattern, or coding and decoding to an extent, because you're given its pattern, you're given 3 diagrams before, and then you should be able to determine the missing number that is there with the question sign for the final diagram. Let's see if anything similar. If it's anything similar to what is on the 2020 past paper. So it's a bit different. It is a bit different. We're still not, I think patterns will come on the 20, because we have seen patterns on the 2020 paper. for on the 2021 paper, I think it will come. I think pattern will come. Here on the screen, we have the 2019 past paper. We're seeing a question on the most appropriate word to complete the sentence. Let me see if that is on the 2020 past paper. The most appropriate word to complete the sentence. So there are two sentences, well, three sentences actually. There's a sentence for question 16, 17, and 18. There are sentences, and you're given a word or 4 words, and you're supposed to be able to choose the most appropriate word to complete those sentences. So that's from number 16 to 18. Let's see if something like that is on the 2020 paper. So we know that there are patterns because for number 21 and 22, those are both patterns. Even though they look different, they are both patterns. So it is safe to say that we might have patterns on the 2021 paper. Number 13 here has the same select the most appropriate word to complete the sentence. However, there are not 3 sentences. There is only 1 sentence. So it is safe to say that choosing the most appropriate word to complete the sentence that will come on the 2021 paper. However, the questions might vary, the sentences might vary from 1 to 3 sentences. You might not have 3 sentences, but surely you will have 1 sentence. You're also going to be given a set of, so this relationship here, and we can jump over to the study at our website. This is what we call a relationship. Let me pause my screen share and go to the study at our website. So let me go to the study at our website. And for the study at our website, once you go to the website, you will be able to scroll down all the way down to the bottom part of the website, the web page, and there at the green section to reach to the mental ability section. I'm not sharing to my screen as yet. Let me go ahead and start the screen share. So you're scrolling all the way down to the bottom of the web page and selecting notes. So we always try to select notes before we select the questions. And then we're scrolling down to the notes. The notes are, we can choose what the notes are on. All right, 6th grade, we want to look at mental ability. Let's look at the notes. I'm not sure why I was not able to get to the mental ability part. I am immune. That it's waiting to come up. I can also access it from the top here. So I'm going to click 6th here at the top. And once I see 6 there, I can select subject and can select mental ability. And that will also bring us to where we desire to go. So those are the different types of mental ability. It looks different from what you would have seen before. It's still the same information. So we're looking for blood relations. So that's where this question that we were looking at on the 2020 ability test paper, blood relations. So we're seeing the notes here. So these are the online tests. Those are the question for blood relation, and these are the notes. So we can click read now to see the notes. All right, let me go back to the question so I can explain to you what I was referring to. So this is the actual past paper, and the question says, Jackie's mother's sister has a son. Sorry. How would that son be related to Jackie? Jackie's mother's sister has a son. How would that son be related to Jackie? He is Jackie's. So that's a blood relation. I'm not concerned with the answer. I'm showing you what type of questions these are. We're going to the underline of how these questions are compiled. All right, let me stop for a minute. These mental ability questions were always out there. We were just not incorporating them at the moment where the GSAT examination was concerned. We have implemented these types of questions before on the common entrance examination, and we're now reintegrating or putting them back in shorter words to or into our examination format. So hence the PEP mental ability questions. These questions for the PEP ability test are focused on quantitative reasoning and logical reasoning. We would have spoke about that last week on what is quantitative reasoning and what is logical reasoning. So you are able to do numerous questions on these, or numerous ability test questions. Sorry. You're able to do numerous ability test questions based on these question banks, based on numerous questions that are out there. Your teachers would have sought for numerous questions, and I'm sure that you're practicing at school assiduously. However, what has not been practiced or what has not been visited, what you're not doing more frequently is looking at how these questions are compiled. These questions are from a specific topic area of the mental ability question types. And these are the question types that we're looking at now. So there's a thing called blood relation. This is a type of mental ability question, right? And these questions speaks about relationships that involve blood, such as mother, father, grandparents, and some of them are external relationships. They're maternal or paternal relationships, but also in-law relationships, right? Such as, or unions, such as wife and husband. I'm not seeing an in-law relationship here, but we're seeing blood relationships, right? We're related to one person is related to another. So the question that we saw here on the 2020 paper, and I'm going to that question. That's what I'm sharing, let me know. Yes, that's exactly what I'm sharing. So the question here that we're looking at, that is a type of blood relation question. And what I would have said, children, you are able to approach the questions better. You are able to answer the questions and get the correct responses if you know the compilation of the questions, how they are composed, how were they, what topic were they developed on, right? So the questions that are being written, and these questions are pulled from a certain topic area. So this question in particular that you're looking on the screen at is pulled from a blood relations topic or blood relationship. So if you go on the study at our website here, amongst other resources online, And if you type in blood relation and look at the question there for grade 6 mental ability question or ability question, or what I'm saying, go on the study at our website. I'm sharing the direct link to the chat. You will be able to see what examples of blood relation, how they compile these relationships, right? And you will see similar questions on these topics, whether it's blood relation, coding and decoding, the various topics that will come on the examination. Each of these questions on the examination comes from a particular topic. It's not to be mostly concerned. Children are at a different level. I would really want you to understand that. It's not about we're deciphering, we're analyzing, we're pulling data here and trying to see how best we can determine the format for the 2021 paper, the ability test paper. So when you get the paper, students, you don't look confused or because you don't know how these questions are compiled or because you have not clearly identified in your mind what type of question will come on this paper. So you're practicing out of the scope, and when these questions come, you are not narrowed down and you don't, it's only a certain amount of questions the ministry will bring on quantitative reasoning and logical reasoning based on these formats that have already been out there. These are past papers that students already sat these examinations. We're better able to determine what will come on the new exam that you will be sitting next month. This is a different level of just simply looking at questions and answering questions, and that's what I'm trying to bring across. We have passed the part, not saying that we won't be answering any more questions. We're going to be looking at the questions on the study at our website. I'm going to be posing a question. You will have the opportunity to answer a question, but it is past that, students. It's past just answering questions. We have to be able to determine how these questions were compiled. And from that, we will be better able to determine what questions will come on the real examination for 2021. And better yet, we will not have any issue in these questions because we're so familiar with the whole made up, the whole pattern, the whole how they compile them, the whole compilation process. And also we are able to understand clearly as we see the questions, what to do to solve these questions, all right? I hope you are looking at the link there in the chat and you can go on the study at our website now to follow. I won't be able to read through all the notes simply because of time constraint. What I'm going to do though is to jump to some of the questions or introduce you to some of the questions that you can look at in your spare time to get enough practice on the types of questions that will come on the examination. All right. You should be seeing the study at our website on the screen. So that was the notes there. To access the notes, all you have to do is scroll on to the bottom of the web page. Under 6, click on notes, and then you look for the different topic areas that you're interested in. So we're going to be looking at the questions that are related to blood relationship. And we can also look at pattern questions, sequence questions. I'm not sure the study at our website, I've not seen it thus far where the study at our website has questions on passages. I know it has questions on artificial language and notes on artificial language under coding and decoding. So we're seeing series completion, that's for the series. Jumbled word, that's another type of series. Which one is different? The odd one out. So go over to the website and be familiarized with the website and use the information that you're provided with to help you to prepare for your examination. Or we're looking at question bank and we're looking at questions for blood relationship. And then we'll see the similar question or similar questions to what we saw on the 2019 past paper. So we have 2 question banks here. Numerous questions, students. Please utilize the information that you're provided with. So here is another question. Rena said, the man going on the road is my mother's husband. How is the man related to Rena? Similarly to what we would have saw on the 2019 past paper. I'm toggling to the 2019 past paper. I'm sharing to the screen. That's a similar question. They're both from the category of blood relation. If you're able to practice on that, you should be able to determine the answer. All right. I'm assuming that you really want to be answering some questions since you're already posting responses. So John, yeah, has already said that the answer would have, so you can go ahead and give me the answer, student. You can go ahead and reply in the chat. I'm going to be sharing once more the question to the screen. So it says, Raina said, the man going on the road is my mother's husband. How is the man related to Raina? I'm looking in the chat for the answers. Ajania, yes, you're correct. I'm already seeing your answer. Christina is also correct. So let's analyze the question. And for these questions, sorry, I would have said that you want to break the question up into different parts and try to process the information. So the man going on the road is my mother's husband. So let's process that. My mother's husband. Who can my mother's husband be? Not my brother, not my son, not my uncle. So definitely my father, simply. So we can be able to determine that the man is related to Raina by a paternal relationship and that the man is Raina's father. There are also other questions here, all the way down to 50. Please, I'm also going to be sharing. So I shared the notes link to the chat. I'm also sharing the question bank link to the chat. Please feel free to go over to the website and use up the information. Let's go back on the 2019 past paper, and we're going to be looking at the other questions that could come on the 2021 mental ability paper. So we said that the passage will come. I think we spoke about that last week, but we went more in depth. The passage will come with 2 or 3 questions, and you might have a question, 1 or 3 questions on selecting the most appropriate word to complete the sentence. Sorry. Let's look at the other types of questions. We already said that we would have an artificial language question. And now we can say that we might have a blood relation question, and we'll definitely have questions on patterns. On the study at our website, I'm looking on the website in the background. I will share shortly to the screen. I'm looking to see if there's information on patterns so I can direct you to the website. Please, students, this website, as again, I would say it's almost like the Holy Grail. Well, for those who know what the Holy Grail is, it's something very important. I'm not going to discuss and go off on a tangent, but please use the website. It's very vital information. It's the same website that I use in my private classes. The only thing that I'm there with the children, going through all of the things in detail, which I'm not able to do in these public classes. Still, nonetheless, you are equipped with information, and if you are someone who uses their initiative, you will get a lot out of this website and other resources that I have provided, such as the Braining Camp web application using virtual manipulatives and List a Wall website. For those of the students who have won booklets, if you're not making your way to pick them up, please do so before the examination. I'm not able to deliver simply because of all the delivery services being altered because of the coronavirus. My personal delivery service, not general delivery service, obviously. But yes, if you are able to, I'm going to be giving away some performance task booklets soon too as well. And next week, we're going to be looking at information from my booklet. I'm assuming then we'll be able to wrap up some of the, most of the format for the examination, since we're almost to the, not to the end, but we're not looking at the questions in detail. We're just looking at the format. Give me a second, please. Sorry about that. So we have a question here on the 2019 past paper. It spoke up, well, it spoke, sorry, all right. It's related to. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it keeps the brain. So there's a missing word that would complete the sentence. It's similar to the word that would complete the sentence. However, some of these words are synonymous in a sense. So it looks as if those two words, the top and the bottom, are, sorry, synonymous, and B and C are synonymous. Then the words there in the middle. But the main gist of this question is to select the most appropriate word to complete the sentence. So even though it didn't say that, let me look if that was the instruction. No. Yes, it was. It was. So it's the same most appropriate. That's a question on the most appropriate. We're given two passages here and we are drawing conclusions. So that's another type of question to look at. This one is a sequence question. 21 and 22 are both sequence questions. 23 is also, sorry, not sequence, pattern questions. 21, well, it's based on a sequence, but it's still a pattern. On the Study Other website, I'm going to be sharing on the Study Other website that is also something that's on the Study Other website, the patterns. All right, I'm going to be selecting it from the top here. Something is wrong with how it's being selected from the bottom. I'm going to be selecting it from the top and then selecting the subject to be mental ability and the content to be the notes from those two tabs there at the top of the website, top of the web page. So we're looking at the different categories here, and there's a category on series completion and sequence. Let's see if there's one on pattern. Coding and decoding, that's also identifying a pattern, but we're looking for one that specifically speaks about patterns. Not seeing that on the website at the moment. Not to say that when you go into these little categories, these little tabs that displays the categories, you're not going to be able to find one that speaks about patterns, either the number patterns or the letter patterns. I think these are the two categories that have information on patterns, if I'm not mistaken. So we're seeing a lot of patterns here. So it's safe to say that patterns will come on the 2021 paper as well. So let's look at a rundown of the things that we said that would come on the 2021 paper for this week. So we continued with passages, patterns, choosing the appropriate word to complete the sentence. And the passage can also, could be about, drawing a conclusion, making inferences, identifying what the main idea is. We spoke about the artificial language from last week. Those are also sequences. Let me look at the 2020 past paper. Yes, we also looked at blood relationship. So about sequences, passage. We looked about another short, it's not a passage, but you're given 3 sentences or 3 statements. And from those 3 statements, you should be able to draw a conclusion or to state which statement must be true. This is also a pattern question. We're given a pattern of blocks. This here, it's pattern comes in different forms. It's just basically that you're still identifying the pattern. So this is a sequence, but you're identifying the pattern that is going to be needed to complete the sequence. This is also a pattern question. So patterns will come on the examination. All right, so this is a pictograph. I think I saw a pictograph here for the 2019 past paper. Let me scroll down. Patterns. Yes, this is a pictograph. So we can safely say that pictographs are going to be coming on the 2021 paper next month. This is also another graph. These are pie charts, and you're given some information on these pie charts. Pie charts and other graphs are used to collect data or to represent data. So here it's about a survey, and the data is a survey done to identify the favorite sports of 40 grade 6 students, and the information is represented on pie charts. This is a diagram. This is a fractional diagram. Let's see if something similar like this one is on the 2020 past paper. You're given a diagram. This is not on fractions though. This is on base 10 blocks. I will not be able to go on the Braining Camp website. I'm going to be going on the Braining Camp website next week. But if you go on the Braining Camp website, the web app, you should be able to manipulate the base 10 blocks there and to learn some more information about using base 10 blocks. Also, you're able to represent fractions with those virtual manipulators on the Braining Camp web app. It should be able to go in. Sorry. To go on that website next week to give you some additional information. Sorry about that just now. Here at question 27, it's not a blood relationship, but it's speaking about a sequence of children based on the age or based on a format that is provided. We're seeing something similar to this on the 2020 past paper, but it is in the form of the planes. Let me see if I'm not mistaken. Yes, great. So it's about not students here, not individual, but it's about planes, and they're given a format of how the planes, let me jump to the 2019 past paper so you can see the similarity. And this will be coming on the 2021 paper. So this is speaking about a sequence of, or a rank. So this is a rank sequence. So there on the study other websites, I'm going to direct you to the note bank and the question bank that this question, the category that this question came from. So the difference between this question is that it's speaking about individuals, and here it's speaking about things, which are planes in this case, but it's basically the same rank sequence. So you're given some information based on the rank of persons here. You're given some information based on the rank of some planes here on the 2020 past paper, and you should be able to determine here in descending order, or sorry, not descending, ascending order from the youngest to the oldest, what rank would each person fall. And here, you're simply asked which plane comes first. So it's safe to say that ranking sequence test will come on the examination. I'm going to be going to the study other website to show you. Oh, I'm actually sharing the study other website, sorry. All right, let me jump back to the past paper. So for the study other website, this will be in the category alphanumeric rank sequence test. All right, I thought that I was sharing the past paper screen. I'm actually going to be going to the past papers now to let you see what I was talking about. Sorry. So here you're given the rank of planes. This is on the 2020 past paper. And on the 2019 past paper, you're looking at the ranks of people instead of things. So it's safe to say that you're going to be given this on the 2021 paper. I'm not sure if the rank will be on people or will it be on some things, but there will be a rank sequence test on, or a rank sequence question on the mental ability test for 2021. All right, I think that's where we're going to be pausing for today. We will be looking at the latter part of the paper. We're halfway through now, so we looked at, we're a little over halfway for, well, this is a question that's up in the middle, but we would have gone through most of the 2020 or halfway through the 2020 past paper too as well. I'm going to be jumping back to the study other website just to look at one of those ranking sequence questions. Yeah, so we would have gone past the midpoint because this is where we stopped at the base 10 blocks for the 2020 past paper, sorry. So we're going back to the study other website, and I'm going to be looking at a ranking sequence test. As I said, students were not going to be able, I am hopefully as soon as we finish with the format of the ability test examination, I will be able to share more information from the study other website, and I'll be able to go through the maneuvering of the website with you and then going in depth at some of the notes there. And as well as look at some of the questions that I would have created, or some of these questions here in the study bank for the study other website So I'm scrolling down to ranking test. All right, so here we have the ranking test here in the middle, and it speaks about the same essence. It might not be the same type of question per se, where it is structured differently, sorry, in that sense. But it's basically the same ranking test type of question. So it speaks about, I'm sharing the answer there. We're going to have to go to the question bank. I've already shared the answer. So it's, if Sahil finds that he is 12th from the right and in a line of boys and 4th from the left end, then how many boys should be added to the line such that they are sorry. Sorry about that, students. There was a student that was sharing something on the screen, and I would have disabled the videos. I'm not sure. I have to revisit some of these meeting settings. Everybody else's video is disabled. You might be removed from the classes if you're showing something that's not supposed to be on the screen. My apologies for the whole, I'm not sure what that is called. That was just showed on the screen, but that is something that I will really have to look into. And hence that's why we're actually using the chat rather than even the microphones, because these are public classes, students from different areas of life, let's just say that, are here in one environment on this little platform here. And I'm the teacher here, and as the adult, I have to maintain some level of discipline and order in the classroom. If you are aware, I'm a private tutor. I do private classes. I teach students on a private basis out of my own initiative, because I want other students to be aided or equipped with information, even without them paying, because this is a free session. I have opted to give you some additional time, additional support in your preparation for your examination. All right. We're going to be doing a workshop, which is going to be also open to the public, but I'm going to have some other teachers join with me just to maintain the order and to help to deliver the information. Ajania, you'll have to, sorry, speak to me privately. I'm going to be sharing my information back once more to the chat. You can reach out to me via WhatsApp or email, and then we can speak about the private lessons there. But as I said, even yesterday, I could not do the classes yesterday because I had a family emergency, because I already made the commitment to help you guys with the practicing, to give this additional support throughout this time in your examination when you would have got much support simply because of the other different challenges that you're facing personally and otherwise. Right? So when I provide this medium, students, is not a medium for us to, sorry, just join up and do things that we would do otherwise, where you're trying to, and I don't want to expound, or do I want to differ from what the purpose is for these sessions. But I think in closing, I should say that there needs to be a level, and that's why we have the videos off and the audio off, so I can maintain that level, and we can there in the chat I'm not seeing much where that is happening out of the ordinary in the chat, but I do not want you to be sharing your videos. I would have disabled the setting. As I said, I'm going to be looking back at that simply because I don't know what is in your background and I don't want that to be exposed. I also don't want you as children to also be exposed to other different things. I'm not able to delve much into that. And the audio as well, because the background simply and what you are privy to say from what you're not privy to say, simply because, not saying that adults do not step out the lines as well. You do have adults, but they're more able to coordinate themselves and to have a level of discipline more than children, especially because we're meeting up at such short interval just for these classes. And some of the students who were here from the beginning of the classes are not the same persons who are here now because they're new students who are joining and other students might be leaving, whatever the case might be. But again, these sessions are only for educational information, whereas me or I say that, Miss Bowen, the only teacher, there's, well, not only teacher, there are other teachers who attend, but the only moderator for this session, right? My video is on because you need to see me and I'm delivering the information. You do not need to share your videos, neither do you, need to allow the audio to speak. You have the medium in the chat to use, as well as I'm just here. It's not a session where we're doing audio interactive, and some that will take a time to come around, simply because I was saying that it's just the behavior of some of the children that it's not going to be able, if these are private lessons, I know what my children in the private classes are accustomed to. I know how they behave. I know what they're capable of in some sense, and I know what they will and will not share, online. I don't know what all of these children are like. I don't know what these backgrounds are like. So simply because of that, I have to be restraining the medium of communication. Now, students, when you come in the class, it's not always going to be about answering questions and jumping into the chat and who answers first and how many answers are answered, how many questions are answered and how quickly they are answered. It's a different style of teaching than you've ever literally seen. And I'm there exposing you to these information, these strategies, these skills. I would assume that most of the children, if not all, that are here, let me end the screen share, will be focused on the agenda or the objective of this class, all right? So we're not just here, as I said, just to meet up for a class where we can pass time and do crazy stuff. No, well, crazy stuff, yes, in a positive way. But as I said, it's strictly about the information that I want to bring across to you. And if you have additional information to share educationally and PEP-wise, that is also relevant. The other things that are outside of that are not so relevant to this class in particular. I'm not sure about the other classes that you are part of. I cannot speak for those classes. I can only speak for this class now. With that said, we're at the end of our session for today. I won't be sharing or giving away booklets at this interval. I'm still waiting for some parents to pick up the booklets from the pickup location. If you have one booklet on the Facebook page or otherwise, reach out to me via the WhatsApp. I'm sure that I would have messaged everyone. If there's somebody that I'm leaving behind, please reach out to them. Let them get to me, and let's see how best we can excel in this examination. All right. I'm not going to be sharing anything more to the screen. I'm just going to be sharing to the chat the Sawal website once more and the Study Other website and the Brain in Camp website. Those are the materials that we have been looking at in all our webinars and class sessions that we have done. If you have not seen all the sessions, if you missed some of the sessions, it is best if you do go to the YouTube channel, and I'm sharing that information to the chat. I'm going to be sharing it back once more to our social media pages. Go to the YouTube page and watch all the videos. I'm not sure how to say why you should watch these videos. I think that's obvious, that's a given, that you need to have all the information at hand, and you might not have seen everything, or some of what you have seen has left your brain for whatever reason. I'm not sure if you're assiduously practicing, and that is the reason why you're not there yet. If you're not assiduously practicing, sorry. But if you are, you should be at a point in your preparation where you're wrapping up on your preparation, tying up the ability test, the little two ends there. We're looking at the format. We have the questions there. We have the host of questions on the study order. And so our website, we have the Brain in Camp web app that we can practice with our virtual manipulators. We have so much other resources that I have not shared. I have used some of these resources. Some of them I'm not yet able to get around to, simply because there's so much information, students. There's not an excuse to not do well on your examination. Please put in the effort that is needed to prepare, put your best foot forward and prepare. The examination is right around the corner. But not only that, this is a milestone that you are approaching. You would have started your preparatory or primary school for those students who have been to one school from grade 1. You've been there from grade 1. If you have moved to other schools, it's still the process of going from grade 1 to grade 6. You're at this milestone now, and you are at grade 1, and you're supposed to be anticipating an exit. That's why we call it the primary exit profile. That's the profile that you're building up to say that this is what you have accumulated from grade 1 to grade 6. This is your profile that you're going to take into your secondary school of choice. Or if you're not at the school of choice, still you have to go to a secondary school. You have to leave the school that you're in. At this point in time, I'm not sure you're doing any repeat. If you were repeating, you would have known that before. You're going to the exam, you're going into the exam now. And this is the exam that's marking the milestone of your achievement, your primary education achievement. It is wise for you. I'm seeing some students here that have not reached that landmark, but they're eager to learn, and they're here anticipating this information even before they go into their final year of primary school or preparatory school. So students, you want to do your best. You want to accomplish this milestone and move on to the next journey that you have to undertake, which is high school, secondary school, and you will be there, from 7th grade to 11th grade. And there's also another milestone, which is the CSEC examination. So we have these milestones that are marking our journey or our accomplishments or a certain period of what we have prepared for up to this point, which is the milestone. So you want to do well and you want to excel, and the resources are there. And despite all the other challenges that you're facing, it is possible, right? And I'm here to lend the support. I'm sharing these wonderful websites and web applications, and I suggest that you go on these resources as often as possible, along with the many other resources that are out there. So as I was saying, go on the YouTube page, look at the videos, watch them. If you can follow from your past paper, see what Miss Bowen is talking about, use additional resources to assist in your preparation. And I hope that you are able to do as much as you can do before the examination. The first sitting, the first part of the examination, because we have 2 other parts after the ability test. After next week, I think the week after, I think I'm trying to do 2 sessions next week. That's what I spoke about. If I'm able to do this 2 sessions next week, I will be commencing the ability test preparation and moving on to the performance task preparation, simply because I know what this entails. For the first year in 2019, I was a teacher. I was at a preparatory school, a small preparatory school, and I administered all the 3 performance task examination. I prepared the grade 6 students. I went again and I prepared the grade 5 students. Sorry, not the grade 5, but the grade 4, seeing as though the grade 5 is the last examination. And I prepared the grade 5 students for their performance task examination. Up my sleeve, I have all the knowledge to assist in the performance task preparation, as well as I have created my own resources. I can literally say hands down that other than the principal for the school, probably who would have been involved in all the different grades, or if there's a PEP specialist or a person specifically there to provide primary exit profile examination assistance to the students, I'm the only person that would have prepared 3 sets of students for the performance task examination. And I know what it entails, and I know that it is a vast amount of work. So I'm not going to delay and continue on the ability test preparation, simply because I know that this one, the ability test, is just a tip of the iceberg of what you're going to be doing in the performance task, simply because the ability test is multiple choice and the answers are there on the paper. The performance task, it is written work where you have to do the working out for the mathematics performance task and the non-fictional summary for the language arts performance task. I would have done a webinar with Dr. Linda Bailey. She's a US-based educator on developing 21st century skills. She did a segment of the webinar with the Braining Camp Manipulative, which I've shared to the website. It's there on our website, it's there on the YouTube page, as well as I would have shared the Braining Camp link to this app, and you can get a free trial on the Braining Camp web app and see how that platform works. So students, you are equipped with enough information to do well, and I want to share the information. My mantra is that knowledge is done no justice when it's kept to itself. Seeing as though I have the information, I'm sharing with someone by whatever medium, I'm so generous to do this public session, right? Do not take the information that is given as granted. These are the same information that I'm using in my private sessions. They're, however, elaborated in my private sessions because these are one-on-one classes, and simply because I would have had more time to bond with the student and to find out their weakness and their strengths. And all of these classes are tailored to the individual, the child who I'm teaching needs. For these public classes, I might not be able to speak to everyone in general, and I might not be able to give everyone the one-on-one support, but these classes are just as effective. And I was saying, if you miss something, you have been to the classes and you didn't quite get something based on, and if you're looking at the past paper and you're seeing a question that you really quite didn't understand how the answer was found, go back and watch the YouTube videos. The beauty about it, even though we're not doing the face-to-face classes, right? These classes are recorded. You can go to the YouTube page and watch the videos over and over again. Where you don't understand, you pause it and watch over again. Some of the skills that I know, as a graphic artist, I did a first degree in computer science. I'm now doing my master's in education. I have not completed the master's. I'm in the process of completing the master's. But my first degree, the first instance of going to university was in computer science. So I'm good with computers and computer applications. But even for things that I did not learn in school, some of the things that I learned, the skills such as video editing, photo editing, some other stuff, I have gone to the same YouTube and I have watched the videos, and something that I don't understand, I am there with my computer doing the same thing that the person is doing on the screen. So you can be there with your past papers and looking at the same thing that I am doing on the screen. And what you don't understand, you pause it there and then you continue and go over the information by a process of repetition, right? I'm going to be looking at some other things, especially for the performance tasks, when the preparation really gets intense and it's not just looking for a question that is, an answer that is there on the paper, which is the mental ability test and the multiple choice type of questions. For the performance task, the question is not, the answer is not there on the paper. So you have to work out. I hope the students are eager to work out in the chat and provide long paragraphs in the chat. And I'm going to actually put another medium in place where if we're doing an essay and you need to write something on an essay or unpack the prompt, you can go to the learning management system and upload your answers there so I can review them ahead of time. But the preparation does get more intense, right? So I look forward to you continuing with me on these preparations. I can surely say for the student who has been to all of the classes, you will be successful in your examination, simply because I have all the strategies, all the skill sets, all the resources to assist you. Stay tuned and let's really reel this in, all right? So that's the end of my session today. I'll see you next week at our regular Friday classes. And I'm trying to do another session sometime next week, but I'll keep you posted via my WhatsApp for the group that is already in my WhatsApp, or the Facebook page and the Instagram page, and as well as I'm going to be uploading this video shortly to the YouTube page. Go on over, watch back the video, see the formats, take notes of all the things that we discussed, of the types of questions that can come on the ability test examination. And I want you to just push at it, beat the odds, and do well in your examination. Until then, I'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is Miss Bowen saying goodbye to you all.
Goodbye, Miss.